welcome to another episode of the Hot Seat. As you can see, we already knee deep into this thing.
But you know who in America didn't think that goofy shit?
Marcus. Okay, I'm gonna go on my tangent.
So here's my issue with Draymond Green, amongst other things. I don't think he has the right to make that statement. I'm not gonna say it. I don't hate him, but I don't like him a lot.
That's the hot seat right there.
I don't know. I was trying to. Can we cut that and come back?
No. We keep that shit. Okay, so that's the one I'm using.
5.1. You can't just pick the one that's high.
Yes, I can. They're both my brackets.
Hell, he 5th out of 4.
Yeah, well, that's still the funniest hit of all time. Kudos on the intro. What up? It's your boy E.A. Smith. You already know what it is. Best sports analyst, not on ESPN. I'm back. Another episode of the Hot Seat. I got the homies with me. First of all, a round of applause. I don't know if we got that sound in the mix, but man, let's play a round of applause, Harold, for that intro. That shit is fire. That shit is fire.
That shit was alright. That shit was alright.
What's good, fellas? What up?
Boy, Parlay Drew. I finally hit one, niggas.
Again?
Oh, that's two. With your boy Polo, man. I'm just here, bro. I'm just here.
Health, let's get started.
You gotta love the simpleness from the producer, man. Anyway, what's going on, man? I'm a little depressed, so I'm gonna talk loud. What y'all got going on, man? How's the week? How was the week? How was the weekend? Anything interesting happen? Anybody do anything interesting?
I ain't do shit.
Yeah.
Outside these parlays. I ain't do nothing, brother.
You just spent your whole weekend bed.
Yes, I did that.
You're right.
Spoke to another friend of mine.
Didn't your daughter? Didn't your daughter go to college?
You know what? You know how I know I have a problem. You know, I forgot about all that shit. No, I'm gonna tell you something. I forgot about all that shit. Hey, brother, I have a problem. Her prom was yesterday, and we did a school visit at A&T. So that's where she decided to go. So we had new student orientation yesterday and prom last night. I forgot about all that shit.
Wait a damn minute. Now, wait a goddamn minute, Drew. You had all that going on, and the first thing out your mouth was gambling.
It was.
Brother, I'm
God
addicted.
damn it, Drew.
And the fact that the fact that of all places, A&T.
Sorry.
A&T and the prom. Listen, my son prom is on the 26th, bro. Yeah, I'm lit like I'm going. You know, I'm not saying that you weren't excited, but the fact that you were so locked into betting that was the first thing that came to your mind.
Hey, man, listen, brother, I have a problem, and I accept that. I know I'm working on it.
How you feel
about
about
what? Which part?
And she's going to college this year.
Tell you something about it. Well, two pieces of it, right? So initially, I was
in like 3 months.
Yeah, in a few months, going to college.
I can count. So initially, I'm telling, like, I was worried because it's like, you know, you always try to give your kids better than what you had, right? And I feel like I put her in a bubble, so it's like she hasn't really been exposed to life. So my fear was like she would run into the world and she wouldn't be ready for it. So we did. She's been there twice already. No, well, I've been twice with her. We did a visit a month ago. And we went back yesterday, and there's another visit next month. She has to go and stay for 2 days. But like just seeing a university, you know, campus or whatever, seeing other kids. Kids aren't the way we were, and that was my fear. It's like I remember my freshman year, fights, just crazy. Crazy. Orangeburg was crazy, but it's like kids are different. Outside these little YNs, like regular kids are different.
Right.
So I feel better about her going now. I'm still gonna cry.
You're not letting thugs in college more like they did when we were there?
No, brother. I'm telling you something. I've never seen so many smart kids in my life. Just to hear them speak. Double majors with a minor in this, and I said, "Damn, I'm proud of all these kids."
No, let me tell you a quick story. You was there, Drew. Moved into Bethea Hall freshman year, and if you went to South Carolina State University, you know about Bethea Hall. If you don't, oh well. But
good times.
K Hall, it looked like
Good
the
times.
intro to a Spike Lee movie. It was just niggas on the block. Somebody turned on a radio, a stereo, and that was it. And I legitimately remember this one dude, his mom moved him in. And I promise you, an hour later, they came from them student orientation people, and she moved him directly
Moved him
out.
out.
An hour later, absolutely, my child is not staying here.
That shit
Mm.
was different, man.
That shit was different, different.
So nah, I feel good about it now. It's she low key got my personality, so I think she'll be alright.
Hmm.
It's just I gotta trust her. She's a good kid though.
Good man.
I am going to cry at graduation. I'm gonna cry at move-in day.
Hell
I'm gonna cry
yeah,
when we get home.
hell yeah.
But I'm alright though.
Let's move on before you cry now. So let's do that. Let's go ahead because it seems like we
All
headed
this
in that
shit.
direction.
It's all this. That's
Hey,
why I talk about
hey, I
gambling all the
thought it
time. We
was
probably
coming.
shouldn't.
I
We
thought it
was
was.
we was going downhill. Alex. I don't know.
I
Hey,
mean, hey, brother.
I don't know. So
I'm
we
not
come.
really.
Let's just. How about this? Let's just talk about sports. We'll do that.
Let's get it.
We'll just talk about
Okay
sports.
with it.
Listen, man, I'm hurt.
yeah,
But shout out to the Lady Gamecocks women's basketball team. Lost to UConn.
yeah.
So I guess I should say shout out to UConn. Paige Beckers beat the Gamecocks in the national championship game to this few hours ago, actually. And it was a tough loss. It was a tough loss. But I'm going to say this. Shout out to those girls because I think at the beginning of the year, this was supposed to be the year where she started building back up. Right, she had
Yes.
lost to Leah Boston. She lost Camilla Cardoso. She lost Zia Cook. She lost all of these. She lost some freshies. That whole crew. Bree Bill, one of the best defenders in the nation, when she was there. Camilla Cardoso, 6'7". Zia Cook, one of the best point guards in the country at the time, and so forth and so on. Lost all of that. Right, came back with Joyce Edwards, freshman, McDonald's All American. Um, Murasia Fuwali, which I'm still trying to figure out why they made a Fuwali shirt. I'm still trying to figure that out, but maybe I'm just old. But anyway, those are the two leading scorers, and one's a sophomore, one's a freshman, and they were her bench players. So
Right.
I say that to say this. This was the year that South Carolina wasn't supposed to be on top. This was the year South Carolina was supposed to be trying to figure out, okay, who's going to take that next, who's going to be the next star, who's going to be the next this, that, and the third. Man, and they made it to their down year, they made it to a national championship game.
Yeah.
So you already know what that is. Shout out to Don Staley. But I want to also give kudos to Paige Beckers. Um, that that girl can hoop. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't know if y'all watched the game or watched UConn at any point in time this year. She can hoop, and so shouts out to them. Did y'all catch it? Did y'all watch it? But if you didn't, or if you did, what's let's take a moment and just talk about Don Staley and what she's doing in Columbia, South Carolina, because this shit is incredible.
Yeah, nah, definitely it's a movement. Like you said, it was the year that wasn't supposed to be. And I think when they went on that stretch of about the losses,
Yeah,
it was kind of shaky then, and we weren't thinking we were going to make it this far, but they were able to pull it together. So I think the future is bright as far as the freshmen, sophomores, things of that nature. But I definitely think that based off of past years and based off of the gameplay and the style of play, from what I could see, we got to go get a dominant big. Like we play well with the dominant big because our game we have shooters, but I think we play in the paint very well. So I think that's what we gotta recruit. You know, is not drafting, but is as far as recruiting, I think Don's system works with a dominant big. If you go back to Boston, if you go back to Cardoza, I think we just got to get a dominant big.
I agree. I think that both of your points, excuse me, they overperformed this year. Like Harold said, when they lost those couple games at the beginning of the season, nobody thought they would get anywhere. And so to get where they got, It's an amazing season. To Harold's point, they got to get big because everybody else is catching up. Like they've been
Yeah.
so dominant these last couple of years. Everybody else has been stacking
Hmm.
just to go against them. So I think they'll be all right next year, but they got to
Yeah.
get big again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I don't disagree with none of y'all. I think the future's bright. It's small tweaks to the system. I think Connecticut was just better. Like
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
truly feel like they were a better, more experienced team. I think I was in a group chat with a few of my homeboys and I texted them after the first quarter and I was just like, UConn looks like the more experienced team. Like that's how they played. Like their intensity level was different. And I think that's why you saw Don upset with Malaysia.
Hmm.
Um, you know, I said if they won this championship, this would have been her greatest one. If
Hmm.
she won
Yeah.
this,
yeah.
Yeah.
the road that she had to go through. But I agree. Small fix. I'm happy for the girls. I'm
Oh
disappointed
yeah.
for them as far as losing, but it's an amazing season. They have nothing to hold their head about. As a USC fan, I'm not holding my head. They,
Oh
what I
yeah.
mean, like they played their asses off all
Yep.
year. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And let's just be 100 though. Like we all either still live or have lived in Columbia, South Carolina. Like there was no sports anything to be proud of. And
Nah,
let's just be
No.
100. I'm saying, you know what I'm saying? There
But
was none.
Benedict, you got shout out to Benedict. They did win that conference 2 years in a row.
Undefeated at that.
Undefeated. Stand up. Benedict Tigers for real.
Let me clarify. Let me clarify what I mean, because Don Staley got to USC in 2008. Um, what I mean by that is, and unfortunately, the state not getting behind Benedict. You know what I'm saying? We already know we ain't got our
right.
chopped it up eyes and whatnot. The people who know about Benedict, and shout out to Benedict.
Mhm.
But Columbia, South Carolina has had no, like, on a national level, we've had no sports outside of baseball every now and then to pop in and get a championship, this, that, and the third. There
Hmm.
was no there was no football team here. There's no NBA basketball team here. The basketball team sucked. The women's basketball team was non-existent. Then all of a sudden, Don Staley walked in here and turned this program the hell around. And I heard a point earlier, and I thought it was super fire. The same city that had the Confederate flag hanging very short while ago now will have a statue of Asia Wilson, and I damn sure believe Don Staley, if she ain't already got one, I'm not sure if she got one or not, is gonna get one. I think that's some powerful shit. And I think
Mhm.
like really what she's turned this program into, it's a fact. Like you gotta really give her credit. And if you look at the landscape of women's college basketball and look how many black women are out here coaching, and if you listen to them and pay attention, they all give their kudos to Dawn Staley. She's really, really ushering in a movement, and I just want to give her credit for it because she's not. It's not just a basketball thing. From my vantage point, I mean, she's really doing something. So again, like I said, kudos to them. Still great. We'll be right back. Be
Oh yeah.
right back.
Oh, yeah.
Mm.
Class strong. But I do agree, Harry. I think we need to get a dominant. This was the first year in a long time there was not a go-to player.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
Right.
just think it's hard to go and get a dominant big though. We make it seem like that
You
because you
said a
had Asia,
big.
you had Cardoza. Dog, they
Mhm.
not just falling out the tree. They not like
But,
guards. You
but
know what I'm
even when I
saying?
say like dominant big, not
Elena,
even center wise, but even think about Asia Wilson. She was bigger than everybody. Like she was
Yeah.
good. She was great. She is great. But but when they walked on the court, those teams of the past, they were noticeably bigger than the competition.
Well, you don't think that Don is maybe, and I'm just asking.
Yeah.
I look at it like this. Like the growth of the women games means it's gonna grow like the NBA game and the college
Mhm.
men's game. Yeah, dominant bigs was great early in college basketball.
Mhm.
But once the game starts speeding up and you have these players like a Malaysia, the Jujus, the Pages, the
Mhm.
girl Fudd today, like she crossed them up at least 4 times. Like they're playing on the perimeter and it's kind of just like the NBA game, bro. It's kind of ushering the big people out the way. Like Connecticut had a big. They had that girl Stone and they had the other girl. They
Right.
had some real bigs, but those girls ain't Asia Wilson. You know what I'm saying? Like those girls aren't special. Like I just felt like they was just older, bro. I think what Don is trying to do is make that team more versatile. And I think we also need to point out that Ashley Watkins was out as well. I
That's
think
what
that would
Oh
have
Mark.
made
yeah,
a huge difference in
that
that
was
game.
big.
That's gonna
Yeah,
be
that was
huge.
big. And then
Yeah.
That's
also like Drew was saying, as far as them catching up, that Connecticut team, they've been hurt for years.
They've been hurt, right? For like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
last 2 years.
yeah, they've been hurt.
But nothing.
That team was hurt. So
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
here's what I will say though, and no disrespect, Gino has proven he can put a championship team together. So I ain't putting no slight on him at all. Page gone,
right.
Page gone, and the
Yeah.
thing about that I will going back to what Marcus said, I will say that although this team didn't have a dominant player, big, whatever you want to call it, that makes them harder to defend. Every game, I'm not sure how it played out after this game, but coming into this game, every game that they played in the tournament, they had a different leading score.
You talking about USC?
Yeah,
No.
none
Oh
of their lead-
yeah.
none of their leading scorers averaged over. Nobody averaged over 14, 15 points a game.
Right.
And I think Don was putting 10 person rotations out there. So the Tessa Johnsons who's coming back, the Foo Wilds who's coming back, Joyce Edwards. I'm gonna be honest with you, Marcus, and I know you'll love this. I thought Joyce Edwards was just a post player. I watched her not in this game, but in that who they played last game.
Texas.
Doesn't
Texas.
Texas. Yeah, in that Texas game, where she was taking people off the dribble from the perimeter.
Oh no, that's what she does, bro. And I'm a little bit closer to the high school game. Like I've seen her in high school, bro. Like
Okay.
no, she got game. Like she like Asia, she just not as big as Asia. She's
Right.
like Boston, she's just not as big as her. Like she's
Yeah.
more. That's why I said with Harold, I think Dawn is trying to go with the more versatile look because
Yeah.
if it was UCLA that beat UConn, that was a better matchup for USC because UCLA has that big and they want
Yeah.
to play slow. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? They don't want to run up and down. UConn came out and was just in their grits, man. I just got to give UConn credit, bro.
Yeah.
Like it was nothing done wrong. They smacked them here at the crib, and they smacked them down there in Tampa today. Like they had their number. There
Yeah.
is no excuse. Like when you get your ass whooped, hey, you did a great job. Let's move on.
Yep. Yep.
So I
And I,
agree.
That's it.
Let me say something real quick. So I agree as far as the game speeding up, right? But I still think you still have to have a big, maybe not a
Yeah.
dominant big, but a body, right? Because it's like outside of Golden State, what other team has gone all the way without having a big? They may
well,
get
Joyce,
far.
to credit,
Boston.
Joyce is 6'3".
Who? So who?
Boston.
Joyce, oh, he said Boston, but they had a big, but
I
well,
said
not,
no. They had two bigs. You talking about which year?
but
You talking about
I'm
last
talking
year?
about the year they just won, dog. Yeah, they had Porzingis, but if we remember correctly, Porzingis was hurt most of the finals.
I mean, Al
yeah,
Horford's a big. Like he's not a
No,
he's spread
no,
he's
no,
but
spreads, but he's a
no. First of
big.
all, he's 50,
oh,
like you said about Aaron Jones,
No,
Aaron Rodgers.
he's
He's
62, but
50. He
he's
does not count as a big.
but Drew,
and they had old boy. They had old boy too, the backup. Last year,
clarify,
the backup center.
it was
Horn,
Joyce
you talking about that big white boy?
No, I'm sorry, Twan. I'm coming. No, the black guy who got traded
getting
to
off
Portland
point.
this year. I traded to
Oh, I
Portland
know
this
who you
year.
talking about. I know who you talking about. Yeah,
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 no.
yeah,
So they
yeah.
had
Robert
bigs.
something. Robert something.
Say her
Yeah,
too, but they do. She does have bigs. Tiana Fagan, 6'4". Joyce Edwards is 6'2", 6'3". And so just to compare that, Aaliyah Boston was 6'4", and Asia Wilson is 6'4". The only she has bigs. What she didn't have this year, because if you remember Asia, a go-to big when you needed a bucket.
right.
Mm,
Um, Cardosa, a go-to big when you needed a bucket. She was 6'7".
right.
Aaliyah Boston, a go-to big. The thing about Joyce just wasn't ready. She wasn't. She's not. She would. If you notice Joyce beginning of the year into the end of the year, you can notice you saw the growth. I
Yeah.
think this is going to be a go-to big.
Yeah.
Now, I think her versatility makes the way she goes about it differently than an Asia or Aaliyah or a Cardoso because she can take you off the perimeter. She's more of an Anthony Davis than a insert, a post big. I think she has that. I'm gonna be honest with you. I just think this team needs growth. There's not a lot of
Oh yeah,
holes.
yeah.
They just need
Yeah.
growth.
Young
Play
kid.
hard because losing Raven Johnson, I think, is going to be bigger than we think it's going to be. Because Raven Johnson, I so love Raven Johnson, man. But I think placing her or figuring out who's going to be that main point guard is going to be huge. But I think the big situation, I think you're right, but I don't think she's missing that. I just think her bigs weren't as
Development.
right.
Well,
Developed.
no, I mean,
So
look, I don't disagree with none of what you're saying. I just
yeah,
think at the end of the day, like just as general, I think when somebody loses, we have to look at it and be like, what are they missing? And
Right.
sometimes the other team just better.
no, you
Like
right.
they was just better, bro. Like they were better at every position. And it just exposed the little flaws that we seen throughout the year with Carolina, even when they've won games. Like they
Yeah,
won that Texas game, but we saw how those girls down low ate a little bit. So
Yeah.
I agree with Twan. Like I'm not disagreeing. Both two things can
Well,
be true. You know what I'm saying? Like both things can be true. Like you can say you need a big, but I trust Dawn to spread it up. I'm not gonna overreact because of how we got beat with the
right.
dominant bid because it ain't a whole lot of stones around the country. It's
right.
just one. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like you're not about to call me these dominant big because these dominant bigs didn't play today.
Most
Like the
nights
girl
you
from
don't.
Iowa State, the girl from UCLA, they didn't make it to the championship, bro. USC did. So what
Right.
they're doing is working, but and I agree with her. Like you need a body, like Drew said. It don't
Yeah,
have to be a dominant big because like NIL, and I'll just make this last point and we can move on if y'all want to. The NIL is gonna be tricky with this
hmm
because she has to spend that money in a certain way. And a lot of dominant bigs are gonna be like unicorns to programs because of what UConn did and what UCLA did and what USC did. You already kicking out to Malaysia and Tessa, and you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you got to spend that money wisely and you got to make your team as deep as possible. I agree with Twan, man. That's a young team. They just needed to grow. Like you need this loss to
Yep.
come back and be hungry because UConn looked damn hungry today and USC didn't. And I think that's just the bottom line. Like they look hungry. Them girls wanted that shit.
yep.
Not saying that USC didn't want to win. You didn't want to
Exactly.
win more than they did, though.
I'll
That's
say
just
this
it.
to close the point out. If you remember correctly, USC had that loss in the Final Four right before they made this last little run with Aaliyah Boston them. So I
Yeah.
anticipate this a
Hmm.
Yep.
spring. But
Yep.
Drew, tell the truth. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. You bet on the game, didn't you? Be honest. You bet on somebody's
Who
game
would you
this week.
take, Drew? I know you took something to over or under. Who did you take, bro?
You know what I
Hey,
took.
Go
look,
ahead.
I didn't win today. Put it like that.
oh man. Well, I think it's a perfect time then to jump right into who you did take.
Shit
We
didn't
have.
work out.
Oh shit.
I was wrong, Twan. I've been on rugby. Well, not any. I don't know what this shit's called. What I'm saying is 3 hockey games,
No, I was wrong.
1 tennis game, and golf.
I bet on too much shit.
I overreached. Missed a one off.
You get
Hey,
told
brother,
about.
I don't win that often, but I appreciate
That is
that.
also true. That is also true.
All right, here we go. So I bet
We
on
got
Duke. That didn't work out. Bet on USC. Ah,
you
this
starting off.
man. I hit Sunday. Well, that was a live hit. I hit on Monday. Hit Tuesday. That was it. It's been a dry week since then. I've been one off 6 times since Tuesday.
That's on
So
FanDuel or you
yeah,
doing Prize Picks?
no, that was on Prize Picks. On
Prize
FanDuel,
Pick.
I've been getting my ass whooped.
Listen,
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, man. I done learned how to flex that thing now, Drew. Like if I go a 6 leg, if I can hit 4, bro, I'm gonna get $30. Real talk.
See, I
Like I'm
get
gonna hit
greedy.
$30.
How
See,
much you spend for the 30?
It just depends. Like if they did an NBA boost today, so I only spent like 15 or something like that. So I doubled my money. You know what I mean?
I mean,
see,
that's a very methodical, smart go about it, Marcus. If I would say, Drew, what did you do?
I didn't do that. Here's my flaw. So Harold's doing the flex play, right? I do the
Okay.
power play. So the power play multiplies whatever you play by so many times.
You
Yeah.
know,
So let's
so
just say he puts $15 on a 6 leg. That might pay $200 if he hits all
Hmm.
six.
Right.
I'll put 15 on that same six, but with the power play, it may pay 600.
Yeah.
But the only difference is you got to hit all 6 of them to get anything.
Yeah.
I shoot for the goal. That shit didn't work. Yeah, no, I was one off, and it was crazy. I hit one. They took one of the stats back. That shit pissed me off.
Dog,
Hold on.
that's just the worst fucking feeling, Drew. I'm with you on that.
That
Oh my
that
god.
shit.
Talking about what happened now?
I hit on one, and they took one of the rebounds back.
From who?
Who was it? Damn, who was
So why you
it?
thinking? So you won the bet. He
I won the
got
bet.
them. He had enough rebounds.
It went green, and they took one back. Like what they'll
Yeah.
do, what they say they do is after the game, they run through all
Conversation.
the stats to make sure everything was accurate. And
It
apparently, he
wasn't
had
that.
one less rebound.
Because what'll
That's
happen is like in the NBA, like you know, Twan, like just like back in the day when Dennis Rodman used to tip the ball and he's getting the
mm,
rebounds.
okay.
Sometimes
No,
they'll tip or a foul is called, and the system will give them that rebound. Like if you're
Right.
going for a rebound and somebody fouls you, they're not gonna give you. They're not gonna count that as a rebound. You know
Mm.
what
right.
I'm saying? So that's how they'll go back and correct it. Like sometimes it'll play with your emotions, just like Drew said.
Dang.
So who also
That's
screwed me? The bet I sent y'all yesterday, the one I almost hit on, the one off. Um, First of all, let me say I hate the Mavericks.
Harold,
Uh,
can we get a live update on Drew's byline, Mr. One Off? I think that sounds
Brother,
like a good start off for the show.
Dallas lost by 200 points yesterday.
Yeah. Oh
So
Lord. Yeah, they got smoked yesterday.
I was hold on. I needed what's the power forward's name?
For Dallas,
80?
Yeah,
that's Anthony Davis.
no. Well, he's truly the center. Nah, the
Man, I
Gafford,
told you I want to play center. That's why
not
he's not a Laker.
not Gavin. Who? You said wait,
Najee
not like
Marshall.
not Laker.
Play center.
Nah,
That's
you calling
fine.
everybody but the right nigga. What's the
Damn.
nigga name?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We'll come. We'll
Either,
come.
either,
It's
either
a, it
way,
doesn't matter. It
I
doesn't
had the
matter.
nigga. I had the nigga for 2 assists. Here's my thing, right?
Is
When
he an
AD's
assist?
playing, no.
Okay, go ahead. Keep going.
But here was the stretch though. Man, here's my thing, right? If you playing with AD, you playing power forward, AD's the center. Nigga, at some point just throw that thing up. It's AD. Like at
You
some
know,
point, twice. You can't do that shit twice in a game. The nigga
Nah,
got
man. You know it don't work like that, Drew. It don't work like that.
apparently it doesn't. The
No,
nigga
it
got
don't.
one. He got one assist. Sat down at the end of the third because they were down by 40. Didn't play again.
I hate
And
Joe Mazzulla to this day for that. He did that in the Celtics game. I almost lost it.
what I hate the most. Let me a little rant real quick. What I hate about the NBA is this. I get you trying to preserve your players because they might have a back to back. You might play again in another night or 2 nights. I don't feel like being down by 40 is a reason to sit your starters. Nigga, they got down by 40. Make
listen,
them
that's
play until at least maybe the last 5 minutes. That whole not playing a second half, the fuck is we
so
doing?
Drew. So Drew, you the coach. You the
Yep.
GM. And y'all down 40, up 40, whatever it was 40. There's a
Mm-hmm.
40 difference in this game. You want me to risk injury on my best player so that you can hit your parlay?
Nigga, you risked my record tonight, didn't you? Here's the shit, brother. You make too much money to get blown out by 40 fucking points in a game. I don't care who you playing. Unless you're playing Jesus All Stars, there's no reason this professional basketball team should be down by 40 points to another basketball team. It doesn't, I don't,
How to extenuate circumstances.
the niggas better
Like,
that night. No,
I
it ain't
mean,
staying
you
away.
just more emotional about it, Drew, because you bet on it, and I would feel the exact same way. I'm not knocking your feeling
Fuck
at
'em.
all, but dog, listen, bro. I played basketball, dog. Stranger things happen, bro. It just happens, man. Like sometimes the person who don't ever hit threes is 4 for 5 from the 3-point line, though. Like
What?
it
Yeah.
happens, bro. Like, and they play 82 games, so they actually have more of an opportunity for crazy shit like that to happen. You know what I mean?
so
Like in high school, you might play 20 games. College, we play what 30. NBA, you get a full 82 games for
Mhm.
crazy shit to happen, bro. Like it just happens.
so speaking
Here's
of
what I don't
crazy
like either. I'm sorry, just real quick, Tony.
shit, you see you still mad, and I
Don't let
want you
this. Don't let your starting five go down by 40. I'd rather you pull them before that. If your starters are getting beat that bad, why are they still in the game? The moment you go down by 25, you know what? All right, fellas, let's go ahead and let somebody else play tonight. Don't wait until you're down by 40.
that's
I'm
true.
sorry, Twan. You can go ahead,
Listen,
brother.
I want you to be able to really this is therapeutic for you.
I'm mad, Twan.
I believe
I'm
it's helpful.
mad. Shit.
So okay, so all right. So the one in the Western Conference right now, you really don't have a risk of anybody sitting people or whatnot because that shit is tight. I got the standings. Harold, I think you
Man.
got
Pause.
so we're gonna put the standings.
Yeah.
But anyway, so all right, exclude the Thunder because they out here being disrespectful. Although shout out to my Lakers for going ahead and giving them that ass whooping this today.
Hey, you're not the only Laker fan on the panel, brother. Can we just say shout out to the Lakers? They're not yours. You know what I'm saying?
So
You're not the only fan, bro.
can I get my camera back, Harold? Marcus knows what I'm about to say. And he knows there's a difference between a Laker fan
And a what? And a what?
fan
And a
and
who?
LeBron.
And who? And who?
LeBron fan.
You ought to
Mark,
get down
the
on
nickname I
both
got,
knees and pray tonight that he made the decision to come back to that organization that was in shambles and
right,
bring
man,
you back to greatness and give you a shot.
big dog. Let me
That's
tell you
what you
something.
should be doing.
Let me
Thank
say
the
something.
king, brother.
This man has been a Cleveland Cavaliers fan.
That's
Now
right.
you a fan, and now you a Lakers fan. We don't
And
want
guess
you.
what? And before that, I
We don't.
got some property down there
You
on the
was a
water in
stupid.
Miami. You know what I'm saying? I got some
You
property there
was
because I'm a Heat fan too. I'm a Cavs fan, and when
you
LeBron retire, whatever team he own, that's who we
middle,
rocking with. Whatever
my
team he
nigga,
buy, that's who I'm going with.
I
was you an
respect
active
honesty.
middle school PSL fan?
Who?
You a free agent fan, dog. So let's start with the Laker
Yeah,
fan.
that's
Okay.
fine, brother. I'm
That's
not sure if you're aware of this. You're outdated as an NBA fan. Nobody has teams anymore. Everybody follows the players.
I
You're the
got
only person still holding on to this LA Lakers shit.
there's a no.
I
I'm
got
not holding on to my family. I
There are
got to
no more
tell what.
real fans out there, bro. You're
So
outdated. You just local.
it's called legalized loyalty. I expect that from these YNs. But you over 40, my nigga. I'm a legalized loyalty. Pick something and quit being a front runner and quit
Front
jumping
runner.
around.
Oh, I'm a front runner. I'm a front
Chasing,
runner. You sure?
you chasing another
You
nigga around the
sure?
country. And
Maybe I'm just respecting the player that I said from the time
he's
he came
great.
out of high school was going to be
He's
a
great.
generational
Yes,
talent,
or not. And
and
you
I
were
just
correct.
believe in that guy.
You were correct. And I was a fan, I thought he was great too. And guess what I did? I waited.
Because who
I
were
didn't
you
go.
a fan before the Lakers, bro? Like who was your guy on the Kareem team? Who was your guy?
I wasn't born, Marcus. So
Oh no
stop.
no 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 no! Don't do that. You ain't that young. You ain't no YN. You ain't that young. You ain't that young. Don't do that.
I was not born in the
Don't do that.
70s. Nigga. What are you
But you
talking
know what?
about?
Before Shaq got there, I know you were able to watch and understand basketball. Who was your guy on the Lakers team then? Before Shaq got there?
Well, first of all, if you want me to name Laker greats that I was
No,
not
I'm
born,
not naming. I'm just asking who was
no
your
problem.
guy because you said you're a fan and I'm a front
I,
runner.
I,
So
I,
I
can,
would
I,
like for you to name this
can I go ahead
Lakers
and lay
stardom
out?
that you're talking about.
Can I go ahead and lay out my fandom? Because since you want to,
I'm
that's
just
the game.
asking, brother. We're not arguing. We got a
Ask
lot
me
of
to
show to
prove
do. So
that.
we not. I'm
Oh,
just
oh,
asking the
Or-
question. Let's move on.
no. It's a stupid question. It's a stupid
Oh,
question.
see that. Now we being disrespectful, but go ahead.
And I'm gonna
he's
tell
a
you
Robert
why.
Ory fan.
I'm move on. But when you say, "Hey, you a fan," who was your favorite? Who was your favorite player in the 1957 World?
I
I
didn't
don't
say
know. I
1957
wasn't
Twan. I
born
just
for that.
asked you for the time period in which you were alive. You've been here for the show, bro, the whole time while you've been alive. I just figured you would have remembered something like that.
Whatever, dude. Anyway,
Just a little FYI.
because
Just
you're not
staying
gonna
there.
get my blood pressure up, dog. Asking me about who was my favorite player on the 1977 championship. Come on,
So the
dog. I was
Lakers,
born.
so the
I
Lakers are
would rather
third.
you
What y'all
talk about the
saying?
current
Say
Lakers because you were
third.
making a great point.
I
Say
was.
third.
Huh?
Say third. Yeah.
Hell, that wasn't my fault. I just want to put that
Three
out there.
I,
seed.
I remember he was a Shannon Brown fan.
I
Ain't
was a
nothing
Damn.
wrong with
champion.
that. Shannon Brown was solid, baby. I respect it. I put some respect on that. He was solid.
Oh, my bad. I meant Kwame Brown. My bad.
I was a Kwame Brown.
Boy, that's a little questionable.
He was a rebounder.
I'll be honest. They both questionable. I just, what did Shannon Brown do for you? Like,
Shannon Brown he was a great dunker.
Hmm.
Great dunker.
you can do
He
shit
was
else. You're right.
No, he
who was
was a
your
good defender now, Drew. He was a really
thank
good defender.
you.
Definitely
Athletic
one
and
of the best two-way guys in the league, for sure.
thank you.
For about 2 years.
I'm about to say for how long? Like,
About 2
Who's,
years.
who's your
About
team?
2 years. He was solid
Let's
for
call
2
it,
my
years.
team is my team's trash.
no, let's call it by name.
I don't want to do that.
No,
Who is your team, Drew?
let's talk
They
about
in the
some of your
West.
basketball takes.
They in the West. They in the West.
They in the West?
I was a
You a
little.
Rockets fan?
No,
No. Nah, Rockets probably
You said
better.
they trash. It can't be the Utah Jazz. The Utah ass.
Dallas
Let
Mavericks.
me see what
He's a Dallas Mavericks fan.
I'm a no. First of all, you're wrong.
I'm talking
Secondly, I
about
would love to be a Dallas fan right now.
Phoenix
I'm a
Suns.
Suns. I'm a Suns fan.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Y'all
That's
dumps
why
and
he's a
juice. It's
Suns
on
fan.
fire over there.
You used to
and
like Kevin Johnson.
let
No,
me tell
he's
you
a Steve
something.
Nash. He
Hey, listen,
follows.
Kevin Johnson is one of the most underrated point guards in NBA history. Let's put some respect on that man's name.
He was not a
And
Kevin Suns fan team. He followed Steve Nash to the Suns. We're
Oh,
not
he
gonna say
follow.
we're not gonna
hey,
call
brother,
Charles
Oh, I
Barkley
thought he
Kevin.
was a Cedric Sabalos fan.
no, you
No,
Hey,
well,
I
you'd be
was a Phoenix
wrong.
fan at one point in time when I got tired of seeing Jordan win and Barkley
I'm gonna
went
tell
over
you
there.
something.
I was rocking
here
with the
comes,
Suns for
here
sure.
comes the
I
free agent
definitely was
fan.
rocking with the Suns.
Oh yeah,
Either
Steve
way,
Nash
brother,
fan.
I am. I'm not ashamed of that.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Steve Nash is a good guy, man.
He's a
He's a
top
great
five
player.
point
He's a Hall of
guard.
Famer.
Marcus done wore more basketball jerseys than Shaq.
And we both great, nigga. What else you want me to say about it?
Anyway, can we
And I
get
was
back?
a Magic fan, but go ahead.
But since you brought this shit up, let me
No,
just
no,
say
I
no,
was
this.
I was
no.
actually an Eddie Jones
Let's
fan.
talk about it. Let's
Look, I
move on.
thought I was waiting for you to say Eddie Jones. I was gonna
But
be
see,
like, yeah,
but
Twan.
Harold, real quick, and I know we getting off topic and we running late, but listen, real quick, I got to make this point. And
Yeah.
Twan, I don't want no response. I don't want no response. It's not going to be disrespectful. This is why I was making the point. I was living in the ninth grade in California. So I know the Nick Van Exels, the Cedric Sabalases, the Eddie Joneses. You know what I mean? Like those
That
guys that played the, you know what I mean? Like I knew the team
was the
because when you stay over there, like it's like watching the USC girls here, like you see it. So that's why I asked Twan as far as like, hey, who was your guy? Like, because I would have said Nick Van Exel. Because Nick Van Exel was the truth. And I agree with you as well, Harold. Eddie
Eddie
Jones
Jones.
was good as hell.
Yeah, Eddie
Young
Jones
team,
was the
very
man.
similar to USC. Like they had some great pieces, but they just wasn't there. You know what I mean? Like they just had missing pieces. But yeah,
No, I was. I love. I'll be outside of the Kobe, and I'll move on. I did love Eddie Jones
Yeah, yeah.
Jesus.
right now.
I think you got
Do I
fired.
smoked them so bad on the damn on
Hey, you got him, man.
I think you
Hey,
got fired.
smoked his Wi-Fi off.
he said, I don't want a response. And then he went to do a response. Marcus was like, yo, I'm about to turn this.
I told him I
See,
don't want no response. Turn
Hey,
his mic off. Turn the
hey.
TV off.
I can tell but
I
I've
have
been
a,
told that I'm supposed to not debate, and so
no,
I'm
Hey.
trying to.
I have a joke. I have a
And
joke.
Drew always got something. I'm gonna analyze this. What'll happen is trying to wrap up. And Drew will throw something else. Hey, I got one more thing to say, and
What I
turns
have a
out
joke. This is a joke though.
knows what the show's happening. Go ahead,
What
Drew.
what is it? It's just a joke though.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Marcus was Canada and Twan was Northern State, and they could turn the power off. Go ahead, brother. Go
This is
ahead,
what
okay.
happens. This is what happens when you try to show restraint, and so I'm gonna take that anyway. As you can see, the point we were making before this went off the rails is if you look at the Western Conference right now, from 3 through 6, and I'll stop at 6 because after 6 you go into the play-in.
Mm.
All right.
You have no idea who's going. Every game is going to count. Like we're literally in a scenario to where a week ago everybody said, "Well, the Oklahoma City Thunder is going to represent the West in the finals." Well, they just got waxed by the Lakers, and everybody played. And that's not me being a homer. That's just saying in a 7-game series, they've never been there before. But you got the Lakers, the Nuggets, the Warriors, all with championship pedigree creeping
Mm-hmm.
in. You got the Clippers, who got Kawhi. If that knee good, he good. You got the Timberwolves with Ant Man, and if the Grizzlies figure it out, if they figure it out, you got a Western Conference. This shit might be kind of fly, y'all. This really might be one of the best Western Conference playoffs in a very long time.
To your
I,
point, sorry not to
go
cut
for
you. 5 through 8 has the same record, same win record.
Say that again now.
So 5 through 8 had the same win record. The only difference is Golden State has one less loss. But 5 through 8, all at 46 wins.
Yep.
Yeah, no, they got to play like through the end of the season, bro. Because one
Yes,
loss can take you from 5 to 8. Real talk.
easy. That's just
Like 2
crazy.
losses in a row can have you in the play-in.
That's just crazy.
Even if you're the Lakers, bro. Like the Lakers can't afford to lose 2 in a row right now. They can't.
Absolutely.
Nobody.
They
And
can't.
I'm a
Twan is
Mark.
right. Like it is that man, that race is gonna be crazy. And when the playoffs start, bro, like this gonna be some of the best basketball. I think we sleeping on the East. I think the East is gonna be super competitive too. But I think the NBA playoffs is gonna be probably one of the best we've seen in a while this year.
Marcus, I want you to go after this. I don't want to. I don't want to take away from your shine. Just to kind of prove your point, though. Only 2 teams in the Western Conference have clinched a playoff berth, and it's 4 games left in the season.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
That's
literally
crazy, dog. That's crazy, bro.
that's insane.
That's insane. Yeah, I agree, bro. I think we in for a show in April. I do. I completely agree with Twan. I've been seeing it. I've been paying attention to it. Like Twan said in a couple shows back, how the Lakers were a real contender. I wasn't convinced until I watched this little stretch of games they playing right now. Like I remember Stephen A. Smith, and I know we got to go back to it, but he said something, and he was saying I think it was a 6-game stretch, and he was like the Lakers should lose 5 of the 6 of those games, 5 out of 6. Thought they 4-1 so far in this 6-game stretch. Though. No, they went into OKC and won. They won the other night. They lost a tough one. I forget who they lost to. Oh, Golden State, who's
And that,
also
Yeah.
playing out
that
this
Bulls
damn
game,
world right now. So JJ Redick has figured that shit out, bro. Like for real. Like defensively, they smart. They play with a lot of high IQ. Luca is still a little bit of a liability on the defensive end, but I do see the effort. The Lakers are a problem. I'm not worried about Houston though, bro. They don't scare me for some reason.
yeah. I mean, it's
They
something to
still
be
need
said
me.
about experience. Who's that
Mm,
go-to guy when you know who 7 games? That's the difference. Winning a game is one thing. In the NBA, you got to win 4 out of 7.
yeah,
And even Oklahoma City, as much faith as you got in Shea, the rest of them dudes, they're lose. I mean, not they're great. It's a great team. I don't. They can be beat.
absolutely,
And
absolutely.
I can absolutely see somebody game planning, taking the ball out of Shea's hand, and not what you're gonna do.
I think Golden State can beat them.
I think so. Golden State scares me.
Yeah, they should scare everybody. Like for real, that Jimmy trade is way more impactful than I thought it would be. It is, and he don't even do nothing, bro. Like I bet on him the other
I'm about
day.
to say
Shout out to
what's
Drew,
crazy. He don't do
Prospect Drew.
nothing.
I bet on the other night, man. All he had to do was get
Brother,
18 points, rebounds, and assists. Finish the game with 14, and they won by like 20.
Can I say this? I
I
think
bet that
Jimmy
same
Butler
game.
with the Golden State Warriors better than Kevin Durant did. Kevin Durant is just so great it didn't matter. As far as basketball wise, the stuff that if you think about what Jimmy does, because for the most part, everything that Kevin Durant does, they have someone who does that. Kevin Durant just does what he does on such a level to where it just became so lopsided. But if you look at what Jimmy Butler does, he defends, dog style defense. He rebounds, right? And he also can go get a bucket whenever Steph's off the floor. But what he can do to me, and this is just to me, this is not Jimmy Butler being better than Kevin Durant. I'm not saying anything of that nature. What I think he does better than what Kevin Durant does is amps up the intensity.
Mm,
Sometimes you need somebody to let people know, hey, we in a dogfight. We're in a dogfight and let's go get it. And Jimmy Butler's the person to carry you on you know what I'm saying, carry you to that level. Kevin Durant is gonna hoop. And although that's all
mm.
well fine and good, when shit starts hitting the fan, you need somebody that's gonna say, let's get to it. And Jimmy Butler can do that. He can absolutely do that. Absolutely can do that.
I think the benefit of Jimmy is he draws attention. Because Jimmy's not the old Jimmy, right? Because like Marcus said, if you look at his stats since he's been in Golden State, he really don't do shit, but he draws attention, which frees up Steph. And if you look at their backup point guard, I can't think of his name right now. Little, I don't know. It starts with a P. But anyway,
Brandon Brzezinski, dude.
he has been going off.
Yes,
I
Lord.
think.
Did
I
you bet
think.
on him?
Yes, I bet on him. You know I did. You know how else I bet on Jimmy to
Uh,
10 shots. You know how many shots he took?
9,
6. No, he didn't take
6.
9. He took
I was
6.
about to say
Entire game,
nine.
he took 6. But I think Jimmy came at the right time, right? I think the way, and shouts out to the coach, man. Like, just to keep them at pace with the NBA before Jimmy, and he plays everybody. They've been developing. You can't
Mm-hmm.
tell me 5 people on that team. You can't.
I can.
Yes, you
Well, I
can.
mean, the average watcher can't tell you
Yeah, I
five
just see what you're
players
saying.
on
The
Golden
average.
State.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, I
So
don't
it's
think the
like
average
to
fan could
look at
tell
that
you that.
roster, to look at, and bro, they're what are they? Let's go to say right now, Ross. I mean, standing
40,
wise,
46 and 31. They're fourth. They're under the Lakers.
how? If you
Yeah,
look at
because
that
they was
roster,
in the play in like 3 weeks ago, bro.
that's what I'm
They
saying.
were
You
like
look at that
11 three
roster
weeks ago.
They
on
were.
paper, but the Clippers are a 7 seed. If you look at them on paper, there's no way Golden State should be a 5 seed. It's just those young players are developed and they play hungry, man. Jimmy gives them confidence to me, like Twan said. He's that
Yeah.
dog. And so it's like, I mean,
That's,
hey, I didn't think it
that's,
was a great. I didn't think it would be that big of an impact to the team. I was wrong.
all right, so let me ask you a question, though. Okay, so who do
Mhm.
you believe in? Okay, so let's look at the bottom tier of the Western Conference. You got the Minnesotas, the Clippers, the Grizzlies, and I'm going to leave it at that because the rest of it I don't know.
Right,
Well, no, let's just do this. Let's look at everybody who's in the play-in right now, as of today. So you got the Clippers, the Grizzlies are the 7-8, Sacramento, Dallas, that's the 9-10.
right.
Of those teams, any of them you think got a shot to make a run?
Clippers. I don't trust Sacramento's bad, and I don't know why they're bad. On paper, they are loaded.
Sac-
The Kings are horrible. Dallas is undermanned. Memphis, I don't know when Ja's gonna play. It's just the Clippers.
What were the three teams?
You got
Memphis,
Memphis.
Sacramento,
Um,
Dallas, and the Clippers. But I
Yeah,
think
the
Drew just
Clippers clearly. I think you know what? Let's put some respect and give James Harden a shout out, man. James Harden has been quietly
balling.
having a very very good season. Like even when Kawhi was out, he was leveling. Zubac has been having a great season.
Yep.
Norman should have been an All Star. The Clippers can definitely beat. If the Clippers get Houston in the first round, I'm putting everything I got on the Clippers.
Yeah.
okay.
I'm
That's
telling you.
interesting. That's
And I
interesting.
like that young Houston team. They're very good, but they're still young, and
They're
I
young.
still think they got a lot of holes in what they got going on, and they have to tighten that up. I love their roster though, and the coach is great, but
Agreed.
yeah, I take the Clippers at 6.
All right. I got a team I want to talk about a little bit. And I want to go all the way down to we out of the playoffs. So the New Orleans Pelicans have they set Zion Williamson down for the rest of the season. Um,
That's your question.
Go ahead, Drew.
You know what's bothering me these last couple games? When teams are announcing they're sitting players who hadn't played in months.
Oh.
Why? What's the
Well,
purpose?
I mean, to make it official, I guess I don't know, but
Okay. Go ahead.
anyway, Zion Williamson has missed more games, literally, than he has played in the NBA. When he plays, he's really good. Some would say great. At what point in time it's not worth it anymore? At what
Now,
point in time you're like, hey, okay, is this guy? I don't want to use the word, but I'm gonna use it. When it's too early to start talking about bust conversations, and this is
today.
a different kind of bust conversation because this player is actually performing when on the court. Their problem is that they can't stay on the court. And at what point in time do we realize it's just going to be what it's going to be? For the record, I remember saying when he was at Duke, the dude's too heavy. He's too heavy to guard threes, and he's too heavy to jump up and down in the paint because that's a
Right.
hell of a lot of weight coming down on those feet. And what keeps happening? So I'm putting it to y'all. Am I tripping or tell me how to feel about it? I don't know.
Let me support your argument, brother. Games games played 2019, 20, 2020, 24 games. 22, I mean sorry, 2021, 61. 2022, 2023, 29 games. 23, 24, 70. This year, 30. What is the benefit of having a really great player in your team who won't play, who can't play? This nigga could be
So,
baby Jesus, but if he can't play, what's the point?
so is it not worth it anymore though?
Absolutely not. They should have traded Zion probably 2, 3 years ago and got something for him. Now, who gonna take Zion? I'm gonna give you who made that reference? The Shaq reference, or was it Chuck? Chuck said it looked like that nigga looked like him and Shaq had a baby. Zion, there's no way he should. To your point, he should be that heavy, and he's only 6'6", playing the power forward. You cannot have that much weight and move the way you're supposed to move. And he's a. To me, he was the D Wade. Like, he's a physical player, always running to the basket, dunking on people, falling. You can't do that shit at 350.
He's not 350, but
He 400. Like, he's 400. I'm just saying. He's fat. He's fat. He's fat.
okay, all right. I hear you. I'm still contemplating my theories and my thoughts. Marcus, you look like you got a lot to say.
No, brother. I like to be efficient. I'm gonna disagree with you, Andrew. I don't think
Hold on,
you tripping. I think from
go
the
ahead, son.
outside looking in, you would be okay to call this a bust situation or it's not worth it anymore. I will say this though. The one thing about the new media is that you get to hear from players direct. You don't, it's unfiltered. You get to hear from them and see what they think about certain situations. And Tony Allen, the grind father, shout out to him, said the New Orleans Pelicans is the worst organization in the NBA. Now, the grandfather is not somebody that everybody follows. He's not big and famous and all this and all that. He doesn't come across to me as a guy who lies. I believe Zion could play right now if they were in the playoff race. But the New Orleans Pelicans are so worried about the money they invested into him that it's like, nah, just go ahead and sit down. It was an interview probably about 3 months ago. And Zion said, they won't let me play back-to-backs. He didn't say I don't want to play back to backs like Joel Embiid did. He said they don't want me to play back to backs. I think you get Zion out of that situation. I'm not absolving him and saying, "Oh, he shouldn't be taking no blame." Yeah, you should take some blame, bro. That crazy shit you had going on with that porn star and all that other shit. Yeah, that's on you, champ. That's definitely on you. But basketball wise, I'm sorry, bro. Like, if I'm New Orleans, yeah, if I'm giving up, I'm gonna present him in the very best way to get the most out of the package. And a change of scenery, he can change a team into a championship contender if he's healthy. I don't. That's not a bust to me. A bust is there's nothing you can do about the situation and it's dead. And if either one of you on the panel think if Zion is healthy for 82 games, he's not an all-star in the NBA, then that's not a bust
So
because he
let me
is.
no. So
But I guess that's the question, right? It's,
well, hold on, Drew. Let
can
me
he stay healthy?
and let me clarify. Like I said in the beginning, two things. Is he? So I'm presenting the question, but just to clarify. But I think you made a good point, and Drew's. And sorry to step on it, Drew, but I want to take that point and
You
kind
know,
of it. If he can stay on the court for 82 games, and I think if you could guarantee that, I don't think we're having a conversation. The problem of the matter is he has not been able to. So I'm with you. I'm not going to discredit what you just said, though, in regards to there could be times in which he could be playing and the organization is not allowing him to play. I'm going to throw this question back at you, and then we'll bounce it around and see.
Okay.
From a perspective of, okay, right now, Zion Williamson, is listed at 6'6", 284 pounds.
Mm.
Okay? For the record, Kobe Bryant was 6'6", and that wasn't the Kobe. I'm just literally making a weight comparison. I know they play two different positions, so I'm going to
Right.
get to that. 6'6", between 215 and 220, 225.
Right.
LeBron James, 6'9", generally plays somewhere in between 260 to 275 when he's at his best. And I think he's even trying to lean out a little bit from that. Marcus, you may know a little bit better, but he's in that
Mm.
range. So I made those two comparisons because I made the height comparison to Kobe, just to give you a context of how big he is, but also in
Gotcha.
comparison to LeBron, someone of a bigger size playing a non-traditional position for their size. He's
Understood.
bigger and shorter than all of that.
Mm.
And my point being is this: I don't think anyone, I know I'm not questioning what Zion can do on a basketball court, but I've been saying this since Duke. He's playing too big for what he's trying to do on a basketball court. And I think that's the problem. And although I understand what you're saying when it comes to the organization, this, that, and the third, and maybe it is no, at some point in time, bro, you got to realize I'm too big to play the way I want to play. He physically can do it, but what happens is his body don't hold up. So he can only do it for a short period of time. What happens if Zion Williamson plays at 250, 260 consistently? Maybe he's not as dominant, but I guarantee he's a lot more readily available to play.
So what's the question?
It wasn't a question. I'm just bringing up a premise.
Oh, okay. Okay. I was looking for a
Mhm.
question. I'm not
You know what I'm saying?
disagreeing with you at all. I
That nigga cut
completely
me off
agree.
our premise.
Bringing up the other
No,
side.
I completely agree with you,
Yeah.
Twan. Yeah, that's why I said like I'm not absolving him, but I will say this with the technology and I would make the comparison more closer to a guy like Charles Barkley. You know what I mean? Like I think Charles is the better fit. He played what 6'4", 6'5". He played power forward his entire NBA career. He was super big when he got to Philly. I'm not sure how big he was in Phoenix. I don't know his actual playing weight. Um, I could agree that Zion could lose some weight, but when I see him play at the weight that he plays at, bro, like it's something to his game like that weight is an advantage. Like because he doesn't have the greatest handles in the world. He doesn't have the best outside shot. But when Zion put his head down, bro, and he just make a little quick jab to the left, crossover, and go to the rim, dog, like there's literally nobody on the planet Earth that can do anything about it. Like I watch LeBron just have to play smart and get out his way and make him run into a double team just to guard him because he can't guard him 1-on-1. He can't. Like I've seen Zion cook LeBron out there. So yeah, I mean health is definitely a part of it. I don't disagree. It's just a little too early for bust for me. Me personally, in my opinion, it's too early, bro. Like we've seen it. He's been an all-star. Like
No, I think the bust title is I give you that. I think that's the wrong word. However, I do think that at some point in time, I think Zion will have to listen to somebody outside of Zion.
agreed. Agreed.
So
Somebody will have to, because you're right. At his size, being able to do what he does is great, but his body can't do that.
Mm.
It's almost like,
so
and I'm not a comic book situation, comic book follower, but I can't remember. But there was a comic. Whenever he would power up, well, let's just say just randomly, you got a comic. He goes Super Saiyan. He powers up, but when you do it, it drains the fuck out of everything you can do. Well, you
Oh, you
shouldn't
talking
be able.
about Dragon Ball Z?
There you go. Thank you. I appreciate it. I was trying to think of the name, but anyway, the point I'm making is yeah, it's great when you can do it, but the shit don't last, and it fucks you up when you try. So at
Yeah,
some
I
point,
mean, I just feel like it's ways to train around that now. Like he just hasn't found his right thing. Like, it could be what you and Drew say, like he's too fat, or he just hasn't figured out how to play without burning through all that. Like my son runs track, bro, and he runs the 1600, and
Mhm.
that's 4 times around that track. And when
right.
you sitting there and you watching a kid run, some kids are bigger, stronger, and they are able to pedal to the metal 4 times around that track. Well, Aaron is not as big and as strong as them, so we have to actually think the race. I
right,
think
Mhm.
Zion has to do more of thinking the game. Like
right,
if you're gonna be at that weight, well, you need to add a consistent jump shot so you don't have to drive to the whole area every time you touch the ball. You have to figure out how to rebound a certain type of way, be more of a playmaker. But like you said, and I agree with you and Drew, you could just lose the weight and forget about all that. But what if he loses the weight and you lose the power? You lose the ability to be able to play bully ball, which is his best asset right now.
I think it's a trade off, right? So I'm looking at it now. It says Zion's highest reported weight was 330.
Jesus.
There's no way
Oh.
At 6'6", you should be 330.
No.
It's and to
You
both
know,
of your points.
you know who that size is? Six
Oh,
six six 330. That's
oh,
that's Trent Williams. That's an
Yep.
offensive lineman.
Yeah.
Like
and
like
that's
he is.
crazy.
That's his size.
And
Yeah.
that's crazy. And
Yeah, that's
so,
crazy.
and to the point you made, it's like, okay, I'm looking at his. He averaged through his career. He's averaged 31 minutes per game. So he's not playing full games either. It's to me design effect. Like when he's on the court, you're right. He's unstoppable.
Mhm.
But two things are going to happen. If he doesn't lose the weight, he's going to have a really short career. Because there's no way his body. He's only 24 years old. He's
Yeah.
injured every single year. There's no way his career is elongated at this weight. It's impossible. He's going to have to cut the weight, and to your point, change his game. Because the way he's going right now, Zion might have 3 more years in the league before he tears something that he can't repair.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree with that.
And change teams.
That too.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's
I
a
think
choice.
it's the perfect storm of a lot of stuff though. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Like,
Like Harold brought up a good point. Like I said, man, it's not a lot of people who say good things about the New Orleans Pelicans organization. You know what I mean? Like, so you get a guy who's overweight in that situation,
Yeah.
it can be a little bit more taxing than it should be. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like, it can
uh,
be way worse of a situation than it should be because you got the guy who's not holding himself accountable and the team who's not holding himself accountable. So like I said, I agree. Change the scenery, lose the weight,
Yeah.
and just try to avoid it. I don't understand why these guys ain't reaching out to LeBron, dog. Like if I'm Zion Williamson, man, I'd be blowing that motherfucking phone up right now. Like, hey,
Yeah.
bro, I need it. I need whatever it is you're doing. I need the sauce. I need
Yeah.
that.
because it's the that's the first point you made. He don't want to be there.
Yeah,
He
Yeah,
doesn't.
that's
yeah.
true. I think that's
He don't
true.
want to be there.
I
That's
think
true.
it's
Well,
more of that than him. To
Yeah.
your point, Twan,
Yeah.
like announcing it early, like it's just been too many rumblings of him saying that he's not happy, his agent is shopping him and trying to get. I think he probably shut himself down. Honestly,
Mm.
we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. At the end of the day, I know what you better lose some weight, or we're gonna have the same problem wherever else you try to play basketball. I don't know. That's just my personal opinion. Yeah, I could be wrong. I could be a hater, but I just don't see it lasting. But shouts out to you, Zion. Listen, man. I think that's a good time to stop. A good place to cut it off. Um, I love it. Good things we talked about. I'm live trying to figure out how to end the show, Harold, just to let you know. But anyway, we're just gonna go like this, man. It's been, so
He did it again.
it's been another episode of
Man,
the Hot Seat. You already know what it is. Real takes, real opinions, real talk from your boys. We out. Peace.
All right.
peace.